What's up? A lot of these conversations that I'm gonna start doing, and when I started redoing this channel, I was thinking, like, what can I do different from what everybody else is doing? I have to dig from personal experiences in order for me to be comfortable talking about a lot of stuff that I talk about. I can't get on here and talk about the stuff I was talking about before because I'm just not comfortable talking about it because I don't care about that stuff. I was just, this is hot right now. Let me give my opinion. And then my opinion wasn't really from the heart because I really didn't care about the subject matter that I brought up. It's just that everybody else was doing it, so I was like, let me have a stab at it. And it wasn't really nothing that I was into. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about stuff from personal experience. Either I know somebody or something I went through myself or whatever the case may be. This particular subject, yeah, I did go through this myself, and as at the age that I'm at now, it still burns me a little bit because it won't address. But as I look at the damage when you don't have the right people with the right mindset in place, things can go left real quick. So I would recommend the parents do not allow your older children to discipline your younger children physically or administer physical punishment or consequences. Meaning that if you left your 13-year-old in charge and you're going to the store and you'll be right back, don't allow your child to whoop, yell, fuss, or act as a parent, because we shouldn't be yelling at our kids. No way. Don't allow your 13-year-old, even your 18-year-old, to, even if they're 21, it don't matter what age they are, because they're not the parent, to yell, fuss, whoop, put your kid on punishment. Don't allow your oldest child to do that to your youngest child. For one, I never saw my older siblings as authority figures. Never. When they asked me to do stuff, when my mom was like, they in charge, I didn't care. Because they didn't act, they did, in my eyes, and it didn't happen that often, they said or did things that they should not have done. And then sometimes it was overlooked, and sometimes they was given permission to do so. Let me give you an example. It was at summer camp, and so my mom was there. She was the acting nurse, and somebody had told my brother I was doing something. It's like, and the thing was, can you tell your mother that he was doing this? And I was like, okay, so yeah, well, it was true. And so we get to my mom, and then my brother was equally angry. For what reason, I don't know, because I'm not his child. And he says, Mom, this what he did. He did this, he did that. And so my mom looks at me and looks at him and said, well, what would you do? And my brother said, I will beat him. And I'm looking at her like, are you fucking serious? Now, I didn't give her that look, but I can't remember what look I gave her, to be honest with you. But I know in my mind, I'm like, oh, no, you got to be kidding me. Man, this dude whooped me. Like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, like, it changed something in me. I will probably never look at my brother the same when it comes to authority. And my brothers and my sibling, my oldest sibling, my sister, they did some wild shit. And in the name of mom and dad's not here, so we gonna, take authority. And then, like, I can't remember, like, if my mom and dad approved it and said it was okay, then there was nobody else I could turn to. Now, I've seen in other households where the brother or the older sibling would snatch up the younger sibling as if they were the parent. No. That is, you never know how your child going to receive these things. I would never. I always told my oldest, I said, man, you're the example. And I would say I was trying to teach more of be there for each other, be each other's be their emotional support. If someone's trying to harass them or jump on them, protect them. Be the protector. Be the friend. Be that big brother. Be the big sister. But do not act as though you have, any type, you can dictate what goes on with them. That's not your child. But see, there was 8 years difference between me and my youngest brother. And my oldest brother was like 10, 9 or 10. So, and my oldest sibling is probably 65 right now. 65, something like that. And I don't think they was worried about getting in trouble for not doing the job that was asked of them. Possibility. But from what I can recall right now, I don't think that they was worried about getting in trouble. I think they was more aggravated with the fact that they had to babysit or watch over me, when they probably would rather be doing something else. But I'm telling you, are you young parents out there? You got kids that are not close together? You got some age in between them. Don't give your oldest child the authority to do anything but report back to you what the youngest child has done. Okay? And it makes an even worse argument when you have a child that is 18 and then you have another one that is 16. And let's say they're a year and a half apart. But because this child is the oldest, that younger child may know that dude ain't that responsible. Dude be sneaking out. He be smoking weed when y'all not here. He be having girls in the house when y'all not here. He is not that responsible. He's not a good candidate for this job. And they feel some kind of way. Like, they may feel some kind of way like, I don't feel comfortable around this dude like that. He my brother, but authority, man, I'm about to be wilding out. And then because of the ages is so close, it may be hard for that child to see that older sibling as any type of authority figure, other than the fact that he's in charge of keeping things together. And then that younger sibling can see that he's not a good candidate, like I said before. But he could say, man, we're not that far apart. He's like a year older than me. How is he in charge of me? How is he in charge of me? I don't know what's going through parents' mind when they do that, but I never had to do that because my kids were always they was so close together. It was like a year apart. I had 2 biological, and then my wife had 2. So we left them in the house by themselves all the time, and it was just a regular thing. And they didn't do that. They were like, hey, so-and-so did this while you was gone. Or so-and-so did that while you was gone. There was nobody, and I was like, what did you say? Did you try to talk them out of it? Yeah, I did, but they did it anyway. I was like, okay, cool. I never would have stood on, hey, whoop them if you need to. No, you just observe and report back what you saw when we get back, And then I would say verbal enforcement is all you should allow, meaning in the event of your absence, the oldest child is expected to uphold house rules such as bedtime, curfew, chores, etc. The oldest is basically the guardian, protector in the absence of the parent. So I don't know who's out there who need to hear this, but don't allow your oldest to act like the parent, but just act as like a little, low-key security guard or whatever. Don't allow your oldest child, to put their hands on your youngest child. Because like I said, when they're close together like that year, a year and a half apart, it's going to be ridiculous. They don't see their sibling as an authority figure, as a parent. Now, I often said that my oldest brother was like my dad, but he was like a father figure because my dad just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, my family was, things were screwed up. Now I'm going to say not screwed up, but not as they should have been. Not as they could have been. My brother always told me he loved me. My oldest brother. He told me he loved me more than my other siblings and my mom and dad. Now, my mom and my oldest brother told me they loved me the most out of everybody. My sister, for some strange reason, she didn't like to be hugged. If I told her I loved her, she just kind of, now she lets me hug her. But when I was a little kid, she would cringe up like, what, what's wrong? And it might be some issues there, but we're not going to talk about that. But, the togetherness, the hugs and stuff, it only comes when you haven't seen someone in a long time. Me, myself, I'm a very affectionate person. I like hugs and kisses, and I like to, be close to the people I love the most. You feel me? And I don't have a problem with showing affection and how much I care about you. It's a part of me. It comes from my mom. My mom did do a lot of hugging and kissing. I take that back. She did do a lot of hugging and kissing. Her and my brother, my oldest brother. My brother would hug me. He would tell me he hated to see me get in trouble. As my teenage years, he talked to me, but he didn't. Yeah, he did. He talked to me like he was dad, and that like, where the fuck you get that from? That was that it was something that you had to kind of like, it's like eating a cherry, and then that seed. And so you spit the seed out. Like, it was good information, but damn, the seed is always there. You can't eat the seed. Spit the shit out. You know what I'm saying? I have mental scars because of that. And you cannot allow that to happen. You shouldn't allow that to happen in your house. I'm just giving you advice based on my life. If you want to go ahead and do that, that's fine. But you should also have conversations with your younger children to make sure that up here is okay. Like, how do you feel about Johnny watching you when we're not home? Is he treating you guys right? Is he nice? He might be the best sibling in the world. And then that best sibling could be the one that, hey, bro, y'all want to watch a movie? You know what I'm saying? And he or she is doing it out of respect for mom and dad and saying that this is what's necessary. Because mom and dad treated that oldest one with respect. And then, therefore, that attitude is handed down when big bro, big sis got to take care of things and got to, handle business. They passing it down. Hey, look, this is why, since I'm babysitting tonight, you guys can stay up late as y'all want. Mom and dad they're not going to give a shit about that. They not, because they're out doing whatever they doing, or they needed a babysitter. They're not going to care. The oldest sibling knows that. I hung out with them. We watched the movie. I let them watch whatever they want to watch. And then long as you're in the picture, nobody's, they just followed the T, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody got out of line, it was like, look, go ahead and go to bed because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. All right. You're not the boss of me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, you got to go to bed now. So, handling situations in that manner helps to keep things smooth. That child will understand that they're just following orders, but don't act like the parent. Don't whoop them. Don't yell at them. Just report what you saw, report what they did or did not do. And it's like, I can remember being in that situation before, being babysat, and it's like, oh, well, you doing this, go to bed. So I'm not going to bed. It's like, why not? Because I'm not going to bed. I didn't do nothing. Well, I asked you to do this and you decided not to do that. So you're going to go to bed now, please. And then the babysitter would be like, and I would say, no, I'm not going. And they would say, okay, that's fine. They didn't argue. It wasn't going to argue. Now, this is not an actual thing, but this is a scenario. So when the parents come home, all of a sudden, the child want to get up and go get in bed, right? And then the babysitter can say, yeah, well, I did have a problem, or the older sibling can say, I did have a problem with so-and-so. He was acting up. He was teasing the other kids or whatever, for whatever reason. I was like, yo, you're done. Go ahead and go to bed. And they refused to go to bed. Now the parents got to handle that. You know what I'm saying? And your relationship with that particular child will not change. That child will not resent you, because that child is going to be, that child should not resent you, because that child will understand that, oh, well, he didn't overstep his boundaries. He just, he or she didn't overstep their boundaries. They just reported what they saw. So keep that in mind, parents. Keep that in mind. That's all for now. Hope you guys get something out of this. Peace.